my body. Whip big body. Spin a block, it'll be a real big problem. Whole lot of prize. That's something you don't know nothing about it. Still that way. Run up and feel that way. You can get this work, but the work don't ship, cause it really don't feel that way. Seen a whole lot of rapping and a whole lot of capping. Get chipped like ice, the prices went up. The checks come down from talking that spice. Talk to me nice. You know I'm an east side hitter.
Listen to the drum sounds.
Let's take them for the wine seat. We shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at wine seat, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, wine seat, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the wine seat with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, wine seat, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, wine seat. Last year we gave the folk the key to the wine seat. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the wine seat? Pull up and I get out here and freeze. Ayy, yeah, this is where it started. Where your skills, where your rank, where your heart at. Where your fans, where your coaches, where your squad at. It's how you finish up the drill, it don't matter where you start at. Ayy, this is where all the games get litty. Ayy, yeah, tell me who gon' take it back to they city. Yeah, ayy, this is where all the greatest teams be. Game week, yeah, you know where to find me. Let's take them for the wine seat. We shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at wine seat, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, wine seat, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the wine seat with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, wine seat, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, wine seat. Last year we gave the folk the key to the wine seat. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the wine seat? Pull up and I get out here and freeze. Ayy, wine seat. Can anybody beat rare breed at the wine seat? Voodoo going for a 5P at the wine seat. Big zip, solid concrete at the wine seat. Adamsville coming back to eat. Yeah, wine seat. Bessemer got two different teams in the wine seat. Them Buckeyes gon' crush them by the dreams at the wine seat. Them beat that cause it ain't no in between. Ayy, who leaving out of Florida with that ring? Let's take them for the wine seat. We shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at wine seat, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, wine seat, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the wine seat with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, wine seat, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, wine seat. Last year we gave the folk the key to the wine seat. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the wine seat? Pull up and I get out here and freeze. Yeah, you know where to find me. Let's take them for the wine seat. We shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at wine seat, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, wine seat, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the wine seat with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, wine seat, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, wine seat. Last year we gave the folk the key to the wine seat. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the wine seat? Pull up and I get out here and freeze. Ayy, wine seat. Can anybody beat rare breed at the wine seat? Voodoo going for a 5P at the wine seat. Big zip, solid concrete at the wine seat. Adamsville coming back to eat, yeah, wine seat. Bessemer got two different teams in the wine seat. Them Buckeyes gon' crush them by the dreams at the wine seat. Them beat that cause it ain't no in between. Ayy, who leaving out of Florida with that ring? Let's take them for the wine seat. We shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at wine seat, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, wine seat, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the wine seat with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, wine seat, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, wine seat. Last year we gave the folk the key to the wine seat. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the wine seat? Pull up and I get out here and freeze.
Of course, welcome to Generation X Youth Sports Network Football Uncut. Of course, I'm Jonah Willett, my homeboy in crime, Clayton Guillory. After a week of YNC suntan, got it in, got it under your belt, crowned nine champions this past week, man. What a week of football, man. But this is why we do it. This is what we anticipated all year. Clay, man, another exciting and successful year for the YNC.
Without a doubt, man. Like you said, we crowned 9 new champions. You know, in one age division, we had a champion that didn't repeat. You know, and I know we're gonna talk about a lot of the age groups. We're gonna talk about all the age groups actually, We're gonna talk about the ins and outs, man. But I just can't get over this 8U bracket, man, and how that thing unfolded, you know. But that's why you have to play at the YNC. That's why you have to
Yeah,
play, you know, in this type of atmosphere, Jonah. You know, a week long of great games, you know, great competition, great vibe. Really only one little incident the whole week, which was adult, fueled, and we got that resolved real fast. But outside of that, bro, everything, it was perfect, man. The weather was great.
nah,
You know what I mean? And like always, it's always like a family reunion. You know, it's like a block party out there. See some of my guys from Georgia, see my guys from Alabama, see my guys from Cali, see my guys from North Florida, Central Florida, South
yeah,
Florida, see some of my extended family here in Texas, you know. Louisiana was in the building, you know. We had some people off the East Coast that just came down for games. I mean, it's always nothing but fun when you at the Youth National Championship. And that's why I
yeah.
say, you know, people want to talk about, you know, this and that, man. There's no vibe like it. There's no vibe like it. You can't duplicate it. You can't clone it. You can't copy it. It don't matter. It don't matter if your awards look like ours, if your trophies look like ours, if you get if you get Trap House Meets to make a cut for your event, you know what I'm saying? If you got whoever trying to do your graphics and your video and your live streams and this and that, it's not the wine C. You can't clone it, man. It's too authentic, brother.
Man, talking about authentic, the 6 and under, man. That's how the week would start when we start looking at those teams and we start breaking them down on that Saturday. We knew that GEA was strong all year. We saw them in Panama City, Clay. We saw Coach Ken leading those squads. They looked strong back then. This was one of those few teams that dominated in the preseason and took it wire to wire in the national championships. And listen, Coach Ken has been strong with a lot of his teams, and he's just like a magician at that 6 and under. Last year he was close, but no cigar. This year, he dominated from beginning all the way to end. And I tell you, man, he has a special squad that's together there. Probably one of the best individual players, kid called No Game, but they're just more than just one player. That's a whole team. That's a defense. That now listen to what I'm about to tell you here, Clay. This is the only team in YNC this year that did not give up a touchdown the entire week. From the time they jumped
Mm.
off the bus, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, media day, they still was pitching shutouts. And on Saturday and Sunday, did not give out a touchdown. So got to get those guys a shutout. Shout out to Coach Ken and whoever who's putting that defense together to clamp down and put your shutout for the entire week against some of the top teams in the country. Clay, that's unheard of.
No, I mean, really, it's something that you know, if we had record books, it was something that definitely need to be in the record books. You know, shout out to Coach Ken, that whole org, and Real Deal GEA, man. 6U youth national champions, and they won the national championship game in such a dominant fashion. And like you said, with a swarming defense that reminds us of, you know, for the older guys like myself, the Bears of '85. For the younger guys like you, Jonah, you know, maybe I'll talk about that Ravens defense, you know. So,
Right.
but like I said, man, you know, at 6U, if you've got a dominant defense, you got a good offensive line, and you have a running back and quarterback that can go 0 to 100, you know, like that, then everything else takes care of itself, man. And that's exactly what they did, you know. And I think as I'm talking to Coach Ken afterwards, you know, he wants to take a page out of the Voodoo book. He say, you know, his goal is to win every age level going on up through the YNC, man. So it'll be interesting to see how we start the how he starts the preseason. Because you know, Jonah, when you win a national
Right.
title like this, especially in the city of Atlanta, when you
Yeah.
win a national title like this, now everybody wants to flood your team. Everybody want to flock to your team. When you know
Yeah.
when you're a winner, people want to be around a winner. They want to be
Oh yeah.
part of a winning program. They want to be next to greatness, right? You know, so shout out to the Coach Ken and that GEA 6U, man. My hats off to you. A very, very national championship dominant weekend by those guys.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we talk about the dominance. Man, let's just take a look at some of these angles brought to my guy by Amp Quality. Let's take a look at this GE6U team. as they put on a dominant performance.
Hey, boom squad, know my whole squad going hard. Yeah, boom squad. Coaches mad cause they can't get a yard on the boom squad. Pull up about to rip your team apart. Hey, hit that click, clap, mean the slaughter finna start. Yeah, boom squad, they know we the toughest in the room. Boom squad, when they hit that click, clap, boom, that's the boom squad. See us on the 50 real soon. Hey, yeah, GEA, keep a roster full of goons. It's the boom squad. Yeah, I'm with cheat code and beast mode. Yeah, get loose, Mr. Kane, Bryson Deuce. Hey, yeah, I'm with TJ, they know Grayson got the juice. Yeah, Kyrie, he my dog, Action Jackson, he the truth. Hey, yeah, in the trenches, gotta keep Slim in the loop. Hey, Kingston, Caleb, Levi coming in as a group. Big Cody, him and Nolan come with force, them my troops. Hey, the boys in trenches smashing by mistake, we like oops. Hey, yeah, me the box and Messiah and Kahoot.
And you look at that score right there, 28-0, serving hot donuts the entire weekend. Man, I don't know if Kim was more tired coaching, if he was more tired of serving hot donuts at Krispy Kreme's the entire weekend, man. But what, like I said, dominant form. And here's the thing about Coach Kim, right? He always coaches multiple teams in the year. He coached the 8U as well in the national championship. So he's going from one team to the other. Could you imagine if Coach Ken just focuses on one team and really put and pours into that one team his knowledge and the coaching thing? There'll even be that much more. So let's see if in 2025 will they be able to talk him into doing two teams this year, or he gonna be like, you know what? Let me focus on my 7 and under. We want to go back to back. Now that he's got that taste of that national championship, it may be hard to pull him off that team moving forward. So shout out once again, GEA 6U is your youth national champions 2024, holding up that trophy. Give them babies their flowers. They are the best team in the country, bar none. You can't line up
Without a
another
doubt.
6U even around the block. Okay, get them people their flowers. Coach Ken, you got you one, homie. You got you one. So the day wouldn't end there, Ken. This was one of the teams that everybody wanted to see. Could they perform on a high level in the big game? We saw what they did regular season. We saw how they dominated in the preseason. We saw how they dominated in their local area. But would Supreme be able to bring the championship home? That was the question. And of course, they didn't disappoint. You're talking about Coach Kai is used to this. Back in the day with Brandon Morton, they came out with the same type of drip, the same type of chrome helmets, the same type of vibe. So
Indeed.
that was already,
Indeed.
that DNA was already built in them. And then the coaching staff, I gotta say, this is a great coaching staff. This is another team that I think could just be dominant for a long time to come. I don't see really anyone in their particular age group that's really even giving them a struggle. If this team stays together, will this be another one that just does another marathon like Voodoo for the long term, Clay?
I can tell you what, man. They look very dominant. And by far, I mean, look at these scores, Jonah. So, first round, right? First round, they get West Orlando Jaguars. Well, should I say in the semifinals because they had a first round bye. They get the West Orlando Jaguars. They win that game 32-12. Then in the national championship game, they dominate that game 28-0 against a very, very good and defending YNC national championship Bessemer squad. And to tell you how good
Wow.
this Bessemer squad is, look at what Bessemer did on their side of the bracket before they got to Big Supreme, right? So Bessemer won first round 20-6 over Lithonia. And then they beat SED 22-0 in the semifinals, right? So
Wow.
Bessemer, we talking about the best of the best, and Supreme dominated them in the national championship game. So
Dominate.
what does that tell us, man? That tell us that right now Supreme has everything in the world that they need. For all of you out there in the 7U world, especially in the greater Atlanta area, you want to go to Supreme? I don't think they need you. I don't think they need you. you know. But here's the thing, man. I take my hat off to Supreme in the preseason, man. Those team moms was on my head about Supreme this, Supreme that while I was screaming Bessemer. And I told them after the preseason in Panama, man, y'all made a believer out of me. Hey, now y'all have made a fan out of me, man. I love the way these kids play. I love the way the defense swarms. I love how dynamic the offense is. I mean, I love the swag, the different helmets, the different uniforms. Hey, call me Big Supreme Jr. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that thing.
Supreme went home with these black boxes, baby. They went home with
Hey,
these
man.
black boxes.
Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it, man.
So, so Supreme had a long weekend in Panama. He said, "Hey, Jonah, they got to earn it. This is not the same team." Supreme got to go out, and the parents was looking at you crazy. Panama City, but
Ooh,
I would say
mugging me.
it all worked out for them. It all worked out for them because those games, those extra games that they were able to get in, those teams that they lined up to, it all paid off. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at Supreme's performance in the championship game right here on Football Uncut.
Showtime, go showtime, hey, showtime, yeah, showtime, go showtime, yeah, everybody capping, but we already know, hey, yeah, get Supreme with me everywhere I go, Coach Ty got them steppers, so get ready for a show, yeah, stepping on these net, them boys might not go, hey, showtime, toe flashes, go time, me, BJ, sweet feet, and bow down, Lunny top dollar, they don't wanna hear no crime, pretty boy, Kai,
Them boys got some good feet, man.
always in the bag, J money, he'll win him. I know Jackson, he gon' treat you like a dog if I send him. Young Miller, know he the biggest dog in the kennel. Hey, yeah, it's not another number 8 on this planet, biggest dinner. Little Nolan, big Nolan, give him either one. Either Curry or Carter gon' be the one. Titan, KJ, and Harry, call them 3 to 1. Got the whole city hating David, AJ, and Mason. Hey, brother, that's my brother, want all the smoke like a chief. Might get knocked off your feet if you see man creep. Sir, really making noise from the west to the east. Yeah, stepping like feet, walk them down with a leaf. Oh my God, good grief, boy, Khalil, he a beast. Hey, my hero Roman, they see Jeremiah when they sleep. They gon' freeze up whenever they see Dallas in
Man,
the D.
dominant performance. I got to tell you, sweet feet for president. That kid is the realest man on both sides of the football fields. A rare find for that team. As long as he's wearing Supreme gear, they definitely will be remaining Supreme. Definitely top team
Well,
with some elite players on that football field. Shout out to Coach Kai. Shout out to the Atlanta Elite. Shout out to the number 1 team in the nation, the 7 and under Supreme Atlanta Elite is your 2024 YNC national champion.
before we
So
transition
action
over
did
though,
not
Jonah, I
stop
got to
there,
tell
Clay.
you, before we transition over to that next age level, man, the one thing that I noticed on that film, man, look at
Yeah,
the offensive line play, but most importantly, look at their splits. They really force
yeah.
defenses to have to spread the box a little bit and still be able to have to, play them, whether if they rolling out for a quick pass or they running, straight, power inside or straight downhill, man. So it's a very, very special team. Now, the thing that you touched on, right? And we are celebrating it right now, right? We're celebrating Big Supreme, Supreme Land, whatever you want to call it. They are the best 7U team in the country right now. It don't matter what's going on in other events as we speak right now. It's all about the Supreme. Can't none of them touch Supreme. But can we keep it together? And the reason I say can we keep it together, Jonah, and I don't want to bring any bad vibes into this whole Supreme celebration, but you know as well as I know, when you've got a lot of outspoken adults, that's when things tend to go left and right, man. So I think that coaching staff is going to have to do a very great. They're going to have to become some great therapists to keep these outspoken adults all in bay to stay in line and keep that team together.
Yeah, 100%. Nah, I think Supreme, man, they already looking to this year, man. They know what it is, and so congratulations to them once again. Now we go to the 8 and under, probably some of the best coaching that we saw offensively, man. Some great play calling that just really caught us off guard at the 8 and under, man. Got to give a shout out to
Man,
your 2024 youth national champions, man. Rare breeds just really caught a lot of people off guard. They said, listen, they ended up knocking off the number 1 team in the nation. They knocked off the defending national champs. They did not take the easy route. They took the hard route, but they embraced it. They embellished it. And, man, they played in dominant fashion the entire week, Clay.
no, without a doubt, man. Like I said, hats off to Rare Breed, our 8U Youth National Championship champions, right? They also, we're talking about YNC 2024 Coaching Staff of the Year. Congratulations to those guys as well, too. But when you look at this bracket, Jonah, right? And again, I've got to talk about some of these scores, right? So first round, you've got Adamsville beating GEA 26 to nothing right out the gate. Then on that
Right.
same side of the bracket, you have
That
Rare
was
Breed
crazy.
beating TNT 24 to nothing, right? So that's the
Dominant.
semifinal matchup that I mean, of course, everybody's saying Adamsville, then boom, Rare Breed pops out national champion 24-12 in the semifinals, and then make it to the national championship to face Space City, who had won nationals on another platform last year, right? So anywhere it go, we knew we were going to have a new champion. And then if you look at Space City's path to the national championship, winning first round against a team
Yeah,
that beat them at our preseason nationals, they got their bike back, won that 6-0, and then beat Atlanta Elite 14-6 in the semifinals. Rare Breed versus Space City. It turned out to be a classic. Rare
a
Breed national
movie.
champions 24-20. And I tell you, I take my hats off to that entire coaching staff for Rare Breeds. I think they called a perfect game. The only one mistake they made the entire
Yeah,
game, Space City was not able to capitalize on, man. I don't think you can call a much more perfect game than what those guys called against Space City.
yeah. Well, Space City. Shout out to Space City, man.
Yep. Yep.
Last year or in the preseason, I said, man, I don't know, Clay. I don't know if they have enough to compete on the big level. And
Me
man, they
too.
came
Yep.
back at the end of the year. They from what they did from August to what they did December, two different teams. If this was not a team that had adjusted, a team that acclimated, a team that was ready for action, a team that was ready to battle, Space City is definitely that, man. Shout out to that coaching staff. I look for a lot more battles that they'll be putting in the YNC. They definitely deserve it, and they deserve everybody's respect. But hats off to Rare Breeds, because Rare Breeds started off a little shaky at the beginning of the year. But the coach told me in preseason, like, Jonah, look, we're going to be there at the end of the year. And, and I'm like, well, man, y'all got to get past the billionaire boys. And so get past the billionaire boys, that's a big thing to do. And they exactly did that. As a matter of fact, Clay, let's check it out. 101 Space City, Rare Breeds, YNC.
Hey, rare, yeah, thinking they can run with the biggest like where? Hey, I can run a circle around the square cause I'm rare. Hey, stepping on them babies got the crowd like, yeah, that's the city who the biggest boy, I swear they tell you rare. Here, game one-sided, ain't fair, yeah, rare. Hey, stepping on them babies, we don't care, shit, rare. All them babies, they gon' run when they see it, big rare, here to stay, we ain't going nowhere. Hey, Killer Cam gon' top it off. He ain't stepping like King, tell him knock it off. Ayy, dude's gon' be the one who pop it off. Lil Mikey a Molly Tough, it's time to let that rocket off. Pooh Bear, D Money encasing in the loot. Ayy, legend, he done did it all. Real living proof. Ayy, Malcolm and
Out of
Georgia
there.
about to blow up like some nukes with your Kai Slick, Nick McKean, Cake 3 and Pooh. Yeah, Hound Dog and Speedy running through your whole crew. Ayy, DJ and Jay's trim, this ain't nothing new. We got King, Brown, and Carter, yeah. Zion, Eli, two steppers, push up on him, Satan, Braden, pop up out the blue. Ayy, rare, yeah, thinking they can run with the biggest like where? Ayy, I can run a circle around the square cause I'm rare. Ayy, stepping on them babies got the crowd like, yeah, that's the city who the biggest boy, I swear they tell you rare. Here, game one-sided, ain't fair, yeah, rare. Ayy, stepping on them babies, we don't care, shit, rare. All them babies, they gon' run when they see it, big rare, here to stay, we ain't going nowhere. Thinking they can run with the biggest like where? Ayy, I can run a circle around the square cause I'm rare. Ayy, stepping on them babies got the crowd like, yeah, that's the city who the
That right
biggest boy,
there.
I swear they tell you rare. Here, game one-sided, ain't fair, yeah, rare. Ayy, stepping on them babies, we don't care, shit, rare. All them babies, they gon' run when they see it, big rare, here to stay, we ain't going nowhere.
Man,
Hey man,
a
that
lot of
that
fireworks
that hook
between
and
those two
lateral,
teams.
that hook and lateral right before halftime, Joan. I tell you what, when I'm sitting there thinking, I wonder what the coach is gonna dial up for this last,
Right,
6-7 seconds of halftime. I
right.
never would have thought at 8 years old they would call the hook and lateral, man. I
7
love to see
seconds
stuff
left in
like
the
that,
half.
man. That's the thing that makes youth football so exciting to me, man. You never know what you're gonna
Yeah,
get out of these babies, and you never know how much time a coaching staff has put into a team to have them prepared for something like that.
yeah. You're right. You're right. Absolutely. Listen, guys, when we return, we'll come back with 9, you 10, you 11, you 12. We get ready to shut this thing down, man. We're going to pay some bills. Be right back. 9 and under. Youth National Champions coming up next.
Eastside Johnny. Pull up with the rims, I lay real hard body. Running from the bottom. Blood on my hands, ain't no dirt on my body. Whip big body. Spin a block, it'll be a real big problem. Whole lot of prize. That's something you don't know nothing about. Still that way. Run up and feel that way. You can get this work, but the work don't don't ship, cause it really don't feel that way. Seen a whole lot of rapping and a whole lot of capping. Get chipped like ice, the prices went up, the checks come down from talking that spice. Talk to me now. You know I'm an east side hitter.
And you see that right there, that big receipt that you guys just saw not too long ago. Tell us what happened over there at Dick's Sporting Goods over the weekend for all the champs there, Clay.
So for those of you that didn't that don't understand, I know it's a lot of chat on social media. People want to, you want to go ride go-kart, stuff like that. What we do for our national champions, man, is we take them on a shopping spree every year in Wellington, our defending national champions at Dick's Sporting Goods. So as you can see, man, them boys holding that receipt right there, man. We make sure we take care of these kids. Now, do it slice it any way you want. But if you want to know how it went down, man, talk to the Voodoos, talk to the Billionaire Boys, talk to the Rare Breeds, talk to the Bessemer Tigers. 2 age levels on Bessemer Tigers, man. Everybody walked away happy, smiling, and at the end of the day, that's all we care about here at the Youth National Championship. Play with your mama, don't play with me.
I could tell you somebody who didn't play with nobody, man. It's your defending national champs, Bessemer Tigers, KOB. They represented,
Big
man.
Bessemer.
This is a team that has really found their identity, and no matter what you throw at them, different teams, different things, they remain consistent. Coach Blue has now become a staple in the youth football community, and just really just giving those kids something to depend on in Alabama. So in Alabama, Bessemer Tigers 9 and under, it is what it is. You got to respect it. And so Clay came out here and just early in the preseason, of course, they had some kids in track. They had some kids that still was getting acclimated. They get knocked off in the preseason. So they like, man, it was like, that old song with Eminem and Dre, man, you forgot about Dre. So like, hey, they pushed B to the side. They had the new teams up there, the new hot, so ices and everything was real sexy in the preseason. So Bessemer was just kind of pushed aside. Nobody was like even respecting Bessemer anymore, but you still had the champ that was in the house. And as they get through midseason, you start just seeing the one consistent team that wasn't going up and down and wasn't fluctuating was this Bessemer Tigers 9U team. So Clay, here they go again, back into the YNC, calm and collect. How did the Bessemer Tigers 9U look to you this entire week at YNC?
They look like to me 3-time YNC Youth National Champions going for a 4-peat next year, right? Big Bessemer. You got to put some respect on their name and their body of work. And we've talked about some different teams that have come through the YNC that have won once. They've maybe
Yeah,
won twice. Now Bessemer puts their name up there with the 3 times, and next year they'll be going for 4 in a row. And the thing I
yeah,
love the most, right? And don't get me wrong, it's all about the babies. It's all about what they do on the field. But the thing I love the most, man, you can't rattle Coach Blue. You can't rattle
yeah.
Coach Blue, man. Hey, you can talk, you can say whatever you want about him. You can talk about, his mama, his girl, his kid. As long as you don't touch him, I think he cool. You can say
Right, right,
anything you
right,
want
right,
about
right,
Coach Blue. He
right.
gonna stay calm and collective. He gonna keep his kids focused on the task at hand. And I take my hat off to Bessemer, man, because first off, let's talk about their semifinal matchup.
Yeah,
Battling So Icy, right? The So Icy boys who are coming in hot.
hot.
They had just
Yeah,
put up 28 points on Lauderdale Lakes. Now they come in. Not only did Bessemer win the game, but they held So Icy to 0 points. As you say, Jonah, I know y'all talk about donuts. I'm talking about a
crisp.
goose egg. They held Coach Cal and that high-powered offense they have out of Georgia to 0 points. Then get to the national championship, and you're meeting another high-powered offense in the Real Deal Eagles, who had put up 26 points against Dallas Elite in the semifinals, and held them boys just to 6 points. Man, Bessemer Tigers back to back to back. YNC national champions, 14U over the Real Deal Eagles. Man, you can't ask for a better performance out of your kids than that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's check it out. Let's see what these 9U boys, how they put it down at YNC.
See that KOB, they know what's happening. Bessemer, I got Noah with me, it's a vibe. Time to ride, I can tell like with me, he gon' slide. They say KJ and Carson ain't them guys, then they lie. You see JJ coming, then I start crying, won't survive. Hey, Big Jim and EJ pushing up, we like, what up? Yeah, play around with Tay, me and Sweet Feet, I'm nut up. Hey, Andre let you talk, but in the game, make you shut up. Sending Jordan, Rollin, Roston, and Carter, they gon' cut up. I'm with Harlem, that's my fam, we ain't gotta make no friends. Yeah, Tristan going in, I know Kaden gon' spin. Hey, Kaden and Kingston gon' double back again. They know Tristan my dog, but Aiden and my twin. Never going not sad, duty going in. Hey, Jamar, Kaden, Martin, Ticket Master tryna win. Yeah, SJ and Rara let the Tigers out the pen. Yeah, Nolan Hill beast, might just rip you out your skin. Knock out boys up and down the field like a fast break. Yeah, we the reason teams finishing in last place. They can't keep up with us, we be moving in a fast pace. Yeah, big Bessemer stepping on your back plate. Hey, hold up, I won't finish. That boy do play like a menace. Yeah, Junior gon' get in it, bet you everything in my skin.
Man, what a game that was. And listen, no love lost between these two teams here, Clay. All the way to the mamas, to the daddies.
Boy,
these two,
boy.
these two teams, you got to keep on two opposite ends of the world, not the stadium, the world. From media day to game day, it just shows you that this rivalry is alive between real deal Eagles and Bessemer 9U. And give a shout out to Real Deal Eagles, man, really doing a lot what a lot of people didn't think they could do, make it to the championship game in dominant fashion. Let me tell you, Real Deal Eagles played a dominant week of football at the YNC, and they're definitely the number 2 team in the nation after really proving what they can accomplish out on the football field. So shout out to these 2 top teams in the country. Undeniably the 2 top teams. I don't care, you can put them anywhere against anybody and they're going to turn out on top. But Bessemer just was the better team that day, playing 4 quarters of football, Clay.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt, and like you said, man, you got to take your hat off to the Real Deal Eagles, who has put together a great resume this year with big wins, you know what I'm saying, playing high level of competition. And when it came down to the end, man, Bessemer just made more plays than the Real Deal Eagles. And here's the thing, guys, we're talking about 2 teams that have been YNC national champions before. So they both
Yeah,
understand what it takes. But again, you can never underestimate the heart of a champion, man. And Bessemer dug down and made the big plays when they needed to, man, to go up ahead. So I can tell you this was probably for me one of the most entertaining national championships to watch. Now, don't get me wrong, you had your pregame fireworks over there, mamas being mamas. Mamas, y'all gotta stop. Like y'all grown women, y'all gotta stop acting like this, right? But we ain't gonna talk about that, Jonah. But we are gonna talk about is Big Bessemer back to back to a
yeah.
third back YNC national champions.
Well, Clay, as we move on to this next age group, I'm going to really let you take the lead with it because, you said from day one, this was the best team in the entire solar system, the entire eastern side of human race itself. You've dubbed them, since the creation of dinosaurs, this is the best team in Voodoo. And they had a great challenge in front of them early in I want to say in the game, but as Voodoo always does, man, when Voodoo starts playing Voodoo football, the only enemy they could have is themselves. Tell me something about this Voodoo team that America may not know.
Listen, man, the drive for 5 is complete. If you don't know who Voodoo is, if you don't know who Larry O and Coach Batman is, if you don't know who LA Mike and the rest of the squad is, man, if you
Right,
don't know who the Atlanta Elite Voodoo are,
right,
just you need a new internet provider. You need a new internet service provider because these guys are it, and they're going for 6 in a row next year. And as my man Coach Batman said at the end, it don't matter what other type of tournament try to jump up. It don't matter what anybody else gonna offer. We come to the YNC because this where the funk at. You hear me? This
right,
is where the funk
right.
at, man. So officially, Jonah, we are celebrating the greatest youth football team in the country, pound for pound. Why? I'm gonna tell you, I could probably take Voodoo to 11U or 12U and some of these other platforms and still win the national title. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you, man. I mean, they like that, right? So let's talk about their path, man. So out the gate, they get a very good challenge. They beat Lauderdale Lakes 30-14. Then in the
Yeah.
national championship, they face Southeast Dallas Wolverines, who is definitely the number 2 team in the country. First
Yeah.
round, SED
100%.
Wolverines beat the CBE boys 24-0. Second round,
Wow.
they meet their arch nemesis, West Orlando Jaguars, aka the family, and beat them 18-6. And really, if we keeping it 100, Jonah, even though Voodoo had control of this game, they really didn't
Yeah.
put the final nail in the coffin until the end of the game. SED
You're right.
was in striking distance, but when you're the greatest team in the world, man, you can just kind of hit the gas on people when you want to, and that's what they did at the end
Yeah.
of the game, man. So, hey, AG, man, show these people what greatness looked like. Let's take a look at it.
Drum sound.
Ooh, step on with Voodoo, boy, you better bring help, yeah. Pop out on them anywhere. You see us, boy, you better watch your step. Big dogs, yeah. We don't know nothing else. Heartless, I don't care about how they felt. I know Voodoo don't gon' step. Walk them down, chase them till you out of breath, yeah. BTA, hit them with that belt. Then that butter step. They like Voodoo number 1, I'm like, yeah. Hey, boy, get slept. You don't move, you in trouble when we step. Told M2 to put them on the plate. Told Uno lock the gate behind me, him and Snake. No escape, ayy, playing with Black Mafia ain't safe. Swear King really him, YouTube ain't fake. Better be watching, see murder to the end of the play. D-Train won't play by big play, AJ. Hollywood, Mark J, we just one play away. Superhero shit, yeah, LA Mike say today. Ayy, yeah, me, Junior, and Nino, that's the crew. Brrr, yeah, play with JC Young in your throat, yeah. Hop out Wiki Money, wild man, what it do? Yeah, hopping in the smoke, me and Kangaroo Juke. Big Tennessee, Parker do 'em dirty like, oh, bet the house on juice. You and Mario too. Pancake East Side ain't a trio, they the truth. Yeah, Tosh been him, we don't really need proof. Big Frank always in it, told Cali go and get it. Yeah, TJ that my dog, we in 305 with it. Yeah, Meme might just dunk you on your helmet, get it fitted. Big dog, loud dog, he the littest in the city. Call the paramedics for him, that boy Palomalo killing. Yeah, Danny boy and T-Mac stand up tall like the ceiling. Yeah, Big J stepping on the mall till we finish. Cut.
Man. Man, oh man, oh man. That was like some competition. Like, I can tell you this one thing, the Texas boys not scared. Anyway, listen, when they first
Not at
joined
all.
YNC, it was some acclimation period where it was like, man, can they stand up to the dog fight? Can they stand up to this? And you see it. These boys are ready to play football, man. They're ready to play football. But today is Voodoo's Day. Today is the 5 Champions Day. Today is a team that set history. YNC history. Never a team since 2017 when we are accepted. All the great teams that have gone through our realms. The Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes, the Purple Machines, the Lambos, the Coach Moffitt teams, Coach PT. None of those teams have done what this team has done. You got to give it up to the first time ever 5-peat team in YNC history, Voodoo. It's
You got
huge.
you, man, and you get. I'm sure if Coach Bat was up here, he would give credit to the 5 teams he beat in the national championship along the way because they contributed to their success, right? But as we talk about how great and dominant their body of work has been, and right now they arguably could be the greatest youth football team to ever come through the youth national championship, right? I'm gonna talk a little bit about the SED Wolverines, right? And you're gonna say, Jonah, oh, Clay, you just doing this because you're from Texas. No, I'm not just doing it just because they from
Pretty much
Texas.
you are.
I
Yeah,
take
you
my
are.
I take my hat off to those guys because everybody ran from this bracket.
Yeah,
Everybody ran
100%.
from this bracket because of Voodoo. SED embraced it. They wanted to challenge. They wanted to challenge their kids and put them up against the best. And their kids showed that they deserve to be on this stage. Even though I know I'm a ride with Voodoo for that 6 in a row, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year as SED continues to grow and try to close that gap between them and Voodoo.
100%, man. Yeah, and that's the thing about youth football nowadays. Unfortunately, there's nothing wrong with multiple national platforms. Don't get me wrong what I'm about to
Yeah,
say.
it is.
We
There's
support
something wrong with it.
everybody who's
Everybody
going to
should be at the
support
YNC.
kids.
Everybody
Yeah,
should be at
there's
the
nothing
YNC,
wrong
Joan.
with
There's
that.
something wrong with it. There's
So
something wrong with it.
listen,
If you ain't
and
at
the
the
YNC.
YNC, you making a mistake. You running.
So
You scared.
So the YNC is not it's not for everybody. It's not a thing where you hold 20 teams. It's not a thing where not everybody can play in the YNC. So there does need to be other places where people can get it in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an elite 8 teams where you want to get straight to the point because we only have a week of football. We're not going to keep you out for 2 weeks. And that week, you really got to get in that football of the best teams. And as you can see at YNC, you get off day one, you got pressure. There ain't really no blowout opportunities. But in today's world, a lot of people say, "Hey, well, if there's a dominant team in my age group, I'm not going to go there because I don't want to compete. And I would still want to be called a national champion somewhere, even if it's in Tahiti. I want to be the Tahitian national champion. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But
Well, you get
us
free
who are
Tahiti treats. You get
oh
Tahiti
yeah,
treat sodas.
but those who of us are football purists, it's not about the YNC logo. No, it's about getting the best teams on the field, right? And so that's what we try to do, regardless of the brand, regardless of how we package it. We try to get the best teams out there. So that at the end of the year, there's no argument like, "Hey man, what if we would have played this when we?" Now, if you guys think, and this is no slight to anybody else, and it's no patting ourselves on the back, but if you go look through 6U through 14U, and this year take point in case, and you take our champs, you can honestly say, man, yeah, that's the best in that age group. No matter what, I don't care what age group. There's no argument to say, nah, I don't know, man. We go line them up. Nah, and it's just that's been the consistent thing, and that's our goal. That's our goal to have an undisputed national champ. So if that's not for you, then we're not for you. It's not for
Jonah,
everybody. I'm just keeping it a buck.
Jonah,
You know what I'm saying? We're not a
Jonah,
wreck.
Jonah.
And this, listen, I don't want to hurt no people feeling. I'll let you jump in here, Clay. But I just want to be clear. We're not wreck. We're not wreck football. Um, we are the best of the best. And if you are a competitor and your teams and you're teaching competition, then YNC is for you. Get up in there. Don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? But,
Stop it,
what I
Jonah.
will
Stop it.
share with
Stop it.
you, hold on, and this is my
It-
last point. What I will share with you is this. We're fair, but we don't play them games, right? And there's certain teams that have made it to check-in, and because they didn't get their way, and they didn't like the bracket, because they have to play somebody tough out the gate. If you want to walk out, you never have to worry about that again at the YNC. You will never have to worry about it. And this is not petty. This is nothing. But we won't risk you playing with other people's time, playing with other people's money, playing with other people's commitment. You won't get that opportunity again. So you can take wherever you ride now, continue your journey in life for the rest of your life. So anyway, Clay, uh, come on in. We got more action to
Jonah,
talk about. Yes,
Jonah,
sir.
listen, you talking about ifs, right? One of my dad's most famous quotes was, "If you ain't had a dick, she'd be your uncle."
Oh boy, here we
And
go.
that's
You
what
still
and that's what you're talking about right now, Jonah. That's pretty
where you
much what you're
coaching that
talking
again,
about right
coach?
now.
Where you coaching that
I'm just
again?
saying, hey, listen, man, I'm off the clock. All right. I'm just telling you what how the saying goes. All right.
Right.
And here's the thing, Jonah. Why you on that? So we had some teams that did that to us, right? We had some teams
Right.
that had a bunch of that had everybody thinking they was coming, had a bunch of other teams thinking they was coming, and then backed out last minute. So we got sanctions. We got sanctions on that, Jonah, right? So, and we'll wait till we celebrate all the champions before I talk about the sanctions. But here's the reality though. Everything Jonah talking about, that's cool, right? He kumbaya, he wanna the whole world to get along and stuff like that. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. Listen, if as a coach, if as a parent, if as a fan of the sport, as a young athlete, as a competitor, if you were not trying to elevate your team to the level to be able to challenge a Voodoo or a Rare Breed or a Bessemer or a SED, or OC Buckeyes, or the list goes on
A
and on,
GEA
right?
Panther.
If you a GEA Panthers, if you're not trying to play at that level and challenge those guys, stop wasting people time and their money.
Yeah.
What you need to do, they have a platform that's been around probably longer than me and Jonah been on the earth. It's called the
Tread careful here,
YM
Clayton Gilbert.
the YMCA, right? They
I
have
don't need no more
leagues all over the
lawsuits.
country. They have leagues all over the country. I invite you to participate in those events because anything else would be uncivilized. Let's see, Jonah. That's all I was gonna say, man. That's it. See, calm and collect. But
Yeah,
don't let me forget
yeah.
to pass out. Don't let me forget to pass out these sanctions when we get through celebrating our champions.
Oh yeah. We call it the duck smoking sanctions. Duck smoking sanction. We got a picture of a duck smoking a cigar. So listen, um, we're not gonna talk about the duck smokers right now. We're gonna focus on the champs. All right. And man, as we get to this age group here,
This one here,
11
baby.
and under.
Hey,
Woo wait. Man, I was catfished the entire season. I was ready to become an Eagle. I bought an Eagle t-shirt. I painted one of my cars green with wings on it. I was ready to do the parade, Clay. What the hell happened to the Georgia Eagles championship day? Just tell me. You can tell me, Clay. Just catch me up. What happened?
so first off, let me say this, man. These are by far the two best 11U teams in the country. And to have a classic national championship go to overtime like this for a champion is more than fitting. When you consider, Jonah, the last 3 or 4 championships we've had at this age level has been these exact same two teams. Now, Twin City is now the back-to-back YNC national champions with the Georgia Eagles winning the year before, and then Twin City winning a year before that, right? So it's crazy how this thing works. But this is why they always say it is very hard to beat a good team multiple times in the same season. It is very hard. It don't matter how talented your team is. It don't matter how good your coaches are. It is
Yeah.
always very hard to beat a good team multiple times in the same season. And these two teams, I believe, have this would have been what their fourth time facing it,
Third.
third time facing this year, right? So that's tough. That's tough, man.
But
So
forget all that.
hats off to.
Now I'm going you did the kumbaya. I'm gonna take the Clay position right here. All right. Nah. So number one, I can in the 11U group. Oh man, YNC might as well be UTN. Y'all letting anybody in there. These people already got multiple losses. Twin Cities should not be in there at all. And I guarantee you, and I said it then, y'all
You're
people
right.
who talk about Twin City, I bet you can't beat them. Talking about how many wins. And you want to know why they had multiple losses during the season? Because they the only one who had nuts to go play the number one team back to back because they wanted to get work for when it counted. All the rest of y'all want to be like, oh, no, I ain't playing Georgia Eagles. I ain't playing them. And you want to sit that far and throw these rocks about what Twin City doing. But what Twin City was doing, they was building it up for when it really counted. So, no disrespect to what the Georgia Eagles do. Georgia Eagles played dominant football the entire year. They traveled to Texas. They beat DEA in Texas. They played Twin City multiple times, beat them in all type of way. Played Curtis team, knocked off Curtis 28-6. I mean, they've probably had the most dominant regular season any youth football team has had in a long time. And if I had to say honestly, who would have been the 11 and under champion? It looked like because of the body of work that was put down that Georgia Eagles would push all the way through. But one thing you cannot do is discount the heart of a champion. Those kids still have
Okay.
respect that they wanted to get earned. Man, we've interviewed some of those kids. You have some of the cameras that they're talking about, man. And those kids came into that game, Twin City kids, I mean, came into that game confident. They're like, we are about to beat these people. And they kind of felt it. They knew what was going on. They knew what was going on in their home camp. They, for God's sakes, how many championships do they have under their belt already? Yeah, they're back-to-back champions here. Was removed one year, but before champion. So this ain't new to Twin City. This ain't surprised them at all. And their kids are now growing up. You look at the performance that Patrick put on offensively and defensively, the kid is a force to reckon with. And when he's playing Division I football, yeah, you seen him here first on Generation X at YNC because he's just that dominant. And it's just not him. It's a team performance across the board. That Twin City is a solid team. So no disrespect to Georgia Eagles. I think that's an amazing rivalry between those two teams. I think if you take collectively those two kids on those two teams there, what you're gonna get in high school and college is gonna be something phenomenal. Those kids gonna be battling each other, and what an exciting age group! Because if you look at the kids from DEA, you look at the kids of Miami Gardens Ravens, you look at the kids from Curtis from Montgomery Cardinals, you look from the kids over there at Curtis Team in Alabama, the Ducks. This class of kids, this particular athlete class, Clay, is bananas. There's athletes from across the board like you wouldn't believe. I'm excited to when these kids get in high school and when they get in college. I'll never forget this particular
I
class,
agree with
this
you on
age
that.
group, because it's crazy loaded. Crazy loaded.
I I agree with you on that. You know, and this age group I think is going to be fun to watch for the next 2 or 3 years while they in the YNC. The only team that won't be a part of this age group going forward in the YNC is Gainesville United because they are sanctioned for pulling out the day before the event. 2 year sanction.
Right?
No teams from Gainesville United organization will be allowed into the YNC. It just is what it is. But outside of that, man, you hit the nail right on the head, man. This particular age group is so special, so much talent. Whether if you're talking about Georgia Eagles, DEA, Twin City Outlaws, Tarrant City Ducks, I mean, little Rod and them down there at the Miami Gordon Ravens. I mean, it's going to be serious, serious. But hold on, Jono. This is about the national champions. Let's talk about Twin City, and let's talk
Yeah.
about my man number 44, Mr. Patrick, because that's
What a
what y'all got to
weekend.
call him now, Mr. Patrick. Mr.
Yeah.
Patrick. Hey,
What a
AG,
weekend.
go on spin it. Let them see this boy work.
This that turn. All year we on turn. All year on popping it. Put it on. This that turn. That drip I do it. Don't look at me wrong. This that turn. Cause I might do it. I'm so with this shit. I have a ticket on me right now. Talking about right now. AP
Started the game out the gate.
This 250,000. Got less than nothing for these. This business now. Can get a truckload to your front door. Pick a town. Go. Help me start my day off right. Give me I in the morning. Little snowflake. Great should be sponsored by Tony. Like a junkie in the trap where the smoke get, I want it. Numbers that's fake, a song from Drake, only thing they got on me. All the sounding the same, I'm taking back over. Timberland, step on these like roaches. Get out the way, my scoot over. Be Robert, these ain't golded. Really
There you go.
That's all that you showed me.
There you go.
That's all that you owe me. Word is your bond, that's all that you owe me. That's all that you owe me. On Eddie been geeking for 2 days. I'm on the drain like Kool-Aid. I'm smoking low boys out, got ice on my body, new piece on the 2-made. It's him and I don't, I can say one thing, make a go 2 ways. Yeah, this my way or the highway. I got this in the driveway. Hey, this that turn. All year we on turn. All year on popping it. Put it on. This that turn. That drip I do it. Don't look at me wrong. This that turn. Cause I might do it. I'm so with this shit. I have a ticket on me right now. Talking about right now. AP Skelly, $250,000. That's 250,000. Got less than nothing
Overtime.
for these. This business now. Can get a truckload to your front door.
There you go.
I built so many up, just take a look around. My life so P, I got her upstairs and on the couch. One so crazy about me, she fly her own self out. Lulu, I just need you to be quiet and since they asking, I'm a
There you go.
Emotion.
The 2024 Youth National Champions, 11 and under, back-to-back champs, Twin City,
Back to
Win
back.
City,
Back
woo,
to back.
Outlaws. Congratulations to those boys, man. They deserve it. Big. People counting them out, but that just show you can never discount the heart of champions. So don't ever try us about our rankings no more. Don't ever ask us why we have Twin City in there. We actually watch this thing. We actually know football. Now imagine if we would have followed y'all advice. Oh, well, it should be regionals and they should have already lost and they should already be out. And the champs would be at home. Okay? So y'all
Yeah.
keep them with little backseat rankings, that y'all do to yourself, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing on our end. Congratulations, Twin City. You made me and Clay look like we know what we're talking about. Thank you.
Little bit.
All right,
Little
now,
bit.
let's close the doors on 11U and let's open the door in 12-year-olds. Let's call this the group of the Man, Clay, what could I think of this group of coaches? Oh man, because I can't say what I want to say, even though we on football uncut. I could say what I want to say, but I'm not gonna say what I want to say. But these aren't the
Jonah,
bravest. These ain't the
this
bravest coaches in the world.
the crybaby section. We'll just leave it at that. The crybaby
That
section.
ain't even what I wanted to say, homie.
Everybody want to cry and complain about Big Zip and what they got and is this legal and is that legal and how they do this and they how do that, right? But at the end of the day, when all the checks and balances have been checked, you
Yeah,
have to play football. You have to coach football. Your kids have to execute. We had two teams in the national championship game that did that. Obviously, as you guys know, Big Zip solidified themselves as the back-to-back YNC national champions, but they fought in the national championship versus Texas Elite, final score 24-14. But for a minute, folks, and I mean for a long minute, this game was 1-2 points difference. It could have gone either way. We're talking about a 1 or 2 play difference that changes the whole outcome of the game. But the heart of a champion can never be denied, right? You see why Coach Maul has won multiple national championships, not just at the YNC, but on other
yeah,
platforms. Because when it's time to do big time things, make big time adjustments, they came through and they did that. But I'm going to say this to a bunch of you guys, man. It's a lot of you guys out there that was crying and moaning. It's a lot of you guys that was running from Big Zip, right? And it's the organization that got a sanction behind it for certifying and then disappearing alpha dogs. Nobody in your org can come to the YNC for the next 2 years, right? But here's the thing. Here's what Texas Elite showed you guys. That even with great coaching that floor Big Zip has, even with the great athletes Big Zip has, they are human. That's why you can't be scared and you got to play the game, Jonah. Stop it, man.
yeah. Well,
Stop it.
here's what I will tell you, and I'm gonna just keep it a G. Um, and I coach. I'm just never always just did the Generation Next thing and was behind the camera calling games. I actually coach. There's no way I'm going to be the leader of men and have 30 or 35 kids on my team and men that I look into the eyes every day. And because they have put me in a position to play a certain team at a certain bracket, that eventually, if I want to win it all, if I really think I'm going to win it all, I'm going to play any and everybody in the bracket. What signal do I tell my guys? What signal am I telling my
Yes.
men that might be the men? What
Yes.
signal am I telling the mamas and the daddies? Hey, nah, we ain't playing here no more now. And then the mamas and the daddies that say, hey, Coach Wild, what's up? We good? Nah, man, because they want us to actually play Big Zip right now. Oh, because that's why I thought you showed up here to play Big Zip or anybody is in 12U. I don't care what color
Everybody
you
knew.
wore. I don't care what jersey you in. I do not care. If you gotta see me. And I'm not gonna send a signal to my guys and say, listen, no, because we're gonna play these teams that I'm gonna go play in Beirut when nobody knows the teams who I'm playing. I'm not gonna play in an Afghanistan bowl, and no disrespect to anybody or anywhere where it's going at. That's not my target here. Respect to anybody who's giving a platform for the kids. But 100% of that, if I want to be the best, right now, you're the defending national champs who won it at 11 and under was Big Zip. And so if you want to be that man, you got to go through that defending national champ. So regardless if you're playing at a YNC, who cares? Turn down YNC at that all day. Tell Jonah and Clay, I don't never want to play. I could care less about what y'all doing. But where's the best? Who the best team? Oh, that's the best team? Okay, that's how you handle it. So I want to, and I know this is going to sound so crazy what I'm about to say, Clay, but shout out to the organization who let Big Zip in they party too. So all them cats who thought they were safe over there, when y'all thought y'all was safe from the YNC champ, y'all was sleeping good and comfortable at home and snoring good. Oh, the YNC champ ain't in here. Oh, and then all of a sudden you heard this door open like real slow. Boom! The YNC champ is here. So
Listen, man.
congratulations to that
Yeah.
organization, man.
Yeah.
Let Big Zip up in that thing. You know what I'm saying? But Clay, man, this is all about our national champs. Let's give a shout out to Big Zip, back-to-back champions. This how they put it down on wax. Y'all check it out right here on Generation X Youth Sports Network.
Down where, ayy, December, that's that gunly, boy, you know how I be. I'm tryna see who leaving out of wine, see with that key. And if you come to compete, you better tie up your cleat. This where they stepping on the week, I'm like, yeah, I agree. Ayy, say you're number one and it's the time to see. Arguing with the referees will be the crime for me. If you ain't at the wine, see, you probably lying and cheap. We at the table, Clay and Jonah, boy, it's time to eat. Hey, that boy out for life screaming, keep rewinding me. Ayy, say you're number one and be the line for me. If you ain't at the wine, see them, boy, you blind to me. Hey, you, they ain't gonna represent, make them babies quit. This way it don't be nowhere to park, it be super thick. Wine seat, Clay and Jonah got the city lit. Yeah, where they coming downhill, you gon' hear the hits. This where they got teams from the country on some city shh. They were all the stars moving fast, going turbo. Yeah, you ain't better tested, you ain't talking about Chris Circle. Yeah, this is where they go to put them babies on their logo. They might hit you with a slogan, hey, you froze like a photo. Ayy, December, that's that gunly, boy, you know how I be. I'm tryna see who leaving out of wine, see with that key. And if you come to compete, you better tie up your cleat. This where they stepping on the week, I'm like, yeah, I agree. Ayy, say you're number one and niggas the time to see. Arguing with the referees will be the crime for me. If you ain't at the wine, see, you probably lying and cheap. We at the table, Clay and Jonah, boy, it's time to eat. Ayy, yeah, wanna win, you gotta be rare, yeah. Battle tested, wine see official, you ain't one if you ain't there. Ayy, pull up and grab your chair, how they capping, we can't bear. They can't win, it ain't fair.
Shout out to those Texas boys, man. Hey, Texas Elite. I got to tell you, Bull, his team, coaching staff did a great job. That's another team that I want to see come back at 13 under. They're definitely the second best team in the country right now after putting with the display that they put on for that national championship. I got to get them boys all the love and all the support. Big things coming for those. They got a lot more than just Big Bull. Quarterback, wide receivers. They have a complete team. But man, Big Zip. Let me just tell you this: they make no excuses. If any team had the opportunity to back out of a national championship contingency, it would have been Big Zip. And why do I say that? For people who don't know Big Zip, they're down to their third quarterback. Their starting quarterback number 2 is walking around on crutches. Second string quarterback is out for the year. They're down to a guy who's a wide receiver who they say, hey, man, we know you can throw the ball, but we trust it. Not only do we trust you, but we're going to play our football on the highest level. We're going to play for a national championship, not just here, but other places as well with our third string quarterback, next man up. You get one coach who just, the mom, I ain't say the football player. The mom of one of the players get a cold, it's over. Oh no, coach, we ain't 100%. I ain't showing up with all my guns. If I don't got all my guns, I ain't showing up. How many times have you heard that? So even more of a shout out, and we're not glazing Big Zip right now, but understand to compete at the level that they are with your third string quarterback is crazy work. Definitely crazy work, man. So shout out to those boys, national champs, Big Zip, 13 and under. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Hold on, Jonah.
Oh
Jonah,
my.
hold on. We're going to save 13 and under for last because we are talking about a 6-time champion or a 6-time championship coach. Let's go skip the 14U. We're going to end the show with 13U, man.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Because I know you don't really feel 14-year-old like that. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not really your partake. So we'll just go ahead and get it out the way. You know what I'm saying? But hey, shout out to those boys over on the West Coast. We've always said it. The most dominant 14 and under programs come out of California. This year was no exception. You're talking about Coach Les Fafita. He has led his troops year in and year out to be consistently dominant. And today, this weekend was no exception as they face Sunnyland Sun Devils. Sunnyland Sun Devils come in with their own talent as well, number 2 and number 0, arguably 2 of the most skilled positions at that age group in the country. Didn't make a difference when you have to face 30 of those, just dominant, clean, polished players that Les has produced over there at the OC Buckeyes. Congratulations to the OC Buckeyes, 14 and under, your 2024 YNC champion, well deserving. Not a
Back to
team
back.
on the planet
Back to back.
close to them. Yeah,
Back
no
to
one's
back,
even
Jonah.
close.
You got to give them that.
They've
Yeah.
knocked off the
Back
top
to back.
14 U's in the country. They knocked off Vegas Strong. They knocked off the Ducks. They knocked off everyone who can move in that 14U. They've played them and knocked them off.
Oh, without a doubt, man. So, AG, let's spin this 14U joint, man. Let everybody see how dominant this team is, and then we'll cap it with the last age group there.
And AG's not gonna have that remix in there. So the 13 and 14U parties, we're gonna save to that for our next show, guys. We're dropping the rankings, and so there's a couple more tournaments that's out there right now. We want to get a good view of who's who, and we get ready to drop those national rankings for out the rest of the year. But listen, and then we have a dope remix that, of course, you guys probably already seen some of it already online for the 13 and under. But let's just talk about how special this 13 and under team is with the Rare Breeds. Rare Breeds, man, have accomplished to do some things that a lot of people haven't done. Coach Mark, you can say what you want to say about him. He's been able to have different age groups and be dominant at those specific age groups. He's won 6 national champions, not with this specific team, but with teams, period. And so last year, of course, they said they lost B5. They're not going to be the same. Oh, they're sorry now, man. I've seen Rare Breed play in the preseason. They're not all that. They're not going to be this and that. Listen, nobody can beat them. Okay, say what you want to say. You've seen them win in different type of ways. You've seen them earlier this year. They played the Miami Garden Ravens. They were down 24-6 at the half. You've seen them winning the way by coming back and reeling them in. And if you really analyze football, like how we sit and think football, think about it. They have not given up a touchdown to the Ravens in the last 6 quarters of football. The Ravens put up 24 points in the first 2 quarters. That second half, Rare Breeds have shut them out the second half of that game and shut them out the whole entire national championship. So they have not given up a touchdown to Ravens in 6 consecutive quarters. How many teams can say they shut down the Ravens in 6 quarters? That's a feat by itself. And so, man, congratulations to such a dominant team, not just of the players that you have out there, not just the Watts, not just the Renoirs, not just the K2s, but then of the coaching staff. What strategy was put in place? What game plan was put in place to shut them down, to make, I want to say, the Ravens look pedestrian? They didn't look like a dominant team at all against this Rare Breeds defense. And then Rare Breeds was able to capitalize on it. A hell of a coaching job done by this Rare Breeds offense and defense, getting ready to send these kids into high school, truly the national champ. There's not a 13U. And then this is another one. The trend started actually with Rare Breeds, when teams said, hey, you know what? Let's start dodging the smoke. The trend started this last year, where we couldn't get anyone for last. The brackets would look slim and it was slow. And they'd be like, oh, man, it's such a shame at YNC you guys ain't getting the teams that you used to get. No, well, we get the teams that are the best, and I can't tell you that everybody's up for the challenge. So shout out to Texas Elite for taking the challenge against 12U. Shout out to in 11U that Twin City was willing to take on the Georgia Eagles over and over again. Shout out, that to Rob Mack stood up in the plate this year to take on the Rare Breeds in the YNC. Shout out to those teams that's willing to go ahead and step up in the paint when nobody else won't.
Listen, man, I could go on and on about Rare Breed and Coach Mark's body of work and his staff. But if I'm gonna talk about this team right here, right, the defining moment for me for this particular team was when they played the Miami Garden Ravens in Atlanta, I believe at a Cam Newton event. I don't know what Coach Mark told those guys at halftime because they were down by a large double-digit number, but they came out and did what we would call the damn fool second half and came back and won the game. And in this national championship game, they were so dominant from the opening bell for a 20-0 win over a proven national powerhouse team. And we're talking about a coach that, many would consider arguably the greatest coach to ever come out of South Florida and a YNC legendary coach. And I can't repeat some of the things that was said about the dethroning of Rod Mack, right? I just don't want to say it, but I can tell you this, man. It was some ape shit going on after that game from the players, from the coaches. Man, you just got to take your hats off to them, man. You can say anything you
Yeah.
want, whether if you like Coach Mark, whether if you like Coach Kelly, whether if you like them or you don't like them, man. You have to respect what they do for those kids. You have to respect the platform that they put these kids on, and you have to respect the wins and losses. I myself, as a coach, have been in some classic battles with Coach Mark, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there was classic battles for probably like the first half, and then second half they ran away with it, but I mean, you just got to give credit where credit's due, man. Shout out to the Rare Breeds. So he got 6 altogether. He got 3 with the first team, right, Jonah? So, or no, he
Yes,
got 2
sir.
with the first team,
2.
and this is the 4th in a row with this team, right? Is my
Since
math
June, they
correct?
beat
They
SED.
won 10,
Yep.
11, 12, and 13, man. Hey,
13. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. I mean, Coach Flanagan and that coaching staff, that is crazy work what they've been able to do, man. Shout out to those guys, man.
So listen, next time you see Clay and I, we will be dropping the season finale rankings. Who are the top teams in the country? Of course, we already know who the national champs are, but who will be going in 2025 with the bragging rights to hold it down to get ready for the 2025 get down? Well, make sure y'all join us here next week here on Generation X Youth Sports Network. Of course, I'm Jonah Willard, Clayton Guillory, Al G in the back, man. We'll hold it down till next week. You won't want to miss the action. And Al G.
Listen to the drum sounds.
Let's take them for the YNC. You shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at YNC, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, YNC, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the YNC with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, YNC, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, YNC. Last year we gave the folk the key to the YNC. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the YNC? Pull up and I get out here and freeze. Ayy, yeah, this is where it started. Where your skills, where your rank, where your heart at. Where your fans, where your coaches, where your squad at. It's how you finish up the drill, it don't matter where you start at. Ayy, this is where all the games get litty. Ayy, yeah, tell me who gon' take it back to they city. Yeah, ayy, this is where all the greatest teams be. Game week, yeah, you know where to find me. Let's take them for the YNC. You shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at YNC, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, YNC, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the YNC with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, YNC, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, YNC. Last year we gave the folk the key to the YNC. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the YNC? Pull up and I get out here to take them for the YNC. You shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at YNC, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, YNC, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the YNC with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, YNC, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, YNC. Last year we gave the folk the key to the YNC. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the YNC? Pull up and I get out here and freeze. Ayy, YNC, can anybody beat rare breed at the YNC? Voodoo going for a 5P at the YNC. Big zip, solid concrete at the YNC. Adamsville coming back to E, yeah, YNC. Bessemer got 2 different teams in the YNC. Them Buckeyes gon' crush them by the dreams at the YNC. Them beat that cause it ain't no in between. Ayy, who leaving out of Florida with that ring? Let's take them for the YNC. You shooting a movie, meet us on the set. We at YNC, battle tested, Generation X. Ayy, YNC, wanna smoke? You know where it's at. At the YNC with it, gotta know what to expect. Yeah, YNC, yeah, that's where everybody be. Ayy, YNC. Last year we gave the folk the key to the YNC. Who gon' be the last one to leave out the YNC? Pull up and I get out here and freeze.